Let's profile this avocado here called MacArthur. This is a MacArthur avocado. It's an old variety, an old California variety. It was discovered by Thomas Shedden in 1922 or thereabouts in Monrovia. He had a grove in Monrovia where he grew a lot of different varieties. He was an avocado enthusiast and a lover of new varieties, and he named this variety MacArthur because that was his mother's maiden name. His mother lived all the way to the age of 95, and Thomas Shedden thought that part of the reason she was so healthy in her later years was because she ate a lot of avocados. So in comparison, we've got a reed here, and this is just a little unnamed seedling. And here are a couple more MacArthurs. It's late July, the last day of July. The season of MacArthur is generally summer, and just like reed. You can see though that the skin of MacArthur is a lighter green compared to reed. It's a bit yellowish, more like the skin of Edronol. And it's about as bumpy as reed, about as bumpy as Edronol too. The shape is the shape of MacArthur is it's got a pear shape in general, but it's got a real bulbous bottom and sometimes a bit of a neck, although nothing like the neck of a Pinkerton, nothing like that kind of thing. But you see, it's always got this kind of bit of a neck, kind of like a lamb, but a little narrower of a neck compared to lamb. Anyway, after no more time, let's cut one open. It's got a thick stem button, so let's pop that thing out and dig in. I like the skin of MacArthur's. It's got a nice medium thickness, and it's pliable. I'll just show you how it peels. Like a banana, right? Very nice. Oh, I broke it. But anyway, it peels very nice. As you can see, though, there are a few fibers up toward the stem. Not a fibrous variety, though. I tend to just cut those off and leave them in the half and scoop the rest out, eat the rest. Do you notice that it's a little shiny? It's got kind of a watery look. It's also got a bit of a watery taste and texture. It's not the oiliest of avocados. It's it's pleasurable, but nothing super firm and rich. The texture, nothing very oily, dryish, oily, like the way a reed can get, for example. But not only does it peel, but it scoops really well. The seed, I'll call it medium. Sometimes it's a little bit pointy at the top, and not too large for sure. There's plenty of flesh. And MacArthur's a good-sized avocado. It's definitely bigger than a Hass on average, for sure. Let's eat a bit. I don't think I've profiled the Helen yet, but I will soon. To me, MacArthur tastes a lot like Helen. There's a it's got a nice flavor. It's not weak. It's not too strong. It's but it's a flavor that I get in some other avocados that have this kind of look. They often have a medium or thicker skin, and sometimes they come from Guatemala, like Nibal or Nimlio, and there's this kind of bitterness almost in the background of the flavor. I don't really know how to describe it, but MacArthur has it. I wouldn't call it a bad flavor, but it's not really my favorite flavor. I prefer the flavor of a reed, for example. But it's decent, and the texture of MacArthur is pretty soft. It's very easy to mash up on a piece of toast or into guacamole. It's a great variety for that use. Um, and I'll say that it's, as I said, it's an old variety, originating around 1922. It was commercial for a time. In around 1950, it was a recommended variety by the California Avocado Society, but only for the Santa Barbara, Ventura area. That's today where you'll find most, if not all, of the remaining MacArthur trees. In fact, I got these MacArthurs from Carpinteria, and that's generally where the remaining MacArthur trees exist. Probably won't find a young MacArthur tree growing anywhere because there are superior summer varieties such as reed, and so it's kind of gone by the wayside. But if I had a house that I moved into with a big old MacArthur tree, I wouldn't cut it down. It's certainly good enough to be a keeper, but I probably wouldn't I wouldn't use it as my one and only tree to plant if I needed an avocado tree in my new yard. I'll put it that way. But a decent summer variety, and it has a cool history. Thomas Shedden was a very great lover and promoter of avocados, and it has a fun story behind it. And if you ever find one at a farmer's market, I'd recommend buying it because it is worth eating. That's the MacArthur.